Evening all. I have no idea why I'm doing videos again. It could be that I have some sort of precondition. It could be that I'm currently addicted to memes, which is a new disease that seems to be infecting the internet. Just go and check out PewDiePie and you'll know what I mean. Everything is memes nowadays. I would post memes about Project Nova, but what's the point? Seriously, I mean, let's go through it. I mean, you know, last video was interesting for me to do because I've not done one in a while. It was terrible in every way, but it was kind of therapeutic, cathartic, dare I say, to actually do a video and kind of vent one's spleen over the internet, which sounds very rude. I'm thinking of bukkake videos for some reason, but there we go. Anyway, let's continue talking. Let's kind of look at some of the facts maybe that are coming through with Project Nova. Number one, it still has the same executive producer. So let's dig into that. Basically, it's Ritati. He's not gone anywhere. He's still the EP for this. Now, I'm maybe not in the best place to comment on Ritati because I don't really know him. I don't really know who he is. In my view, the best executive producers that CCP have produced have been people like Over, who did a great job turning Eve at the time into a battleship kind of, I don't know, game of Risk really, into this kind of very big tabletop concept of outposts, POS structure, titans, dreads and all that. You know, he made mistakes, let's be honest. He did make mistakes, but he also made quite an interesting leap forward. It's the people who have a vision and who dare to push the envelope that I have a lot of respect for. And I don't think Ritati is one of them. I think he's a very safe pair of hands. I think he's somebody who is designed to kind of toe the line. It's almost like Marvel. So look at the Marvel films today. None of them have like a James Cameron or a Ridley Scott or a director like Steven Spielberg involved. What they do is they pick up people who've done kind of small art house, middle of the road movies, and they have given them $200 million to make a film, which is why most of the Marvel and DC theory, world is kind of shambolic. And then they go and fire directors like James Gunn, who actually knew what he was doing and was pretty good, because they kind of lost control of him maybe because of a 10-year-old tweet. It's all bullshit. But at the end of the day, that's kind of where we are. Is the EP is an executive producer is an incredibly important part of the creative process, and I think that they have an issue if they're going to make Project Nova have an executive producer who was part of the decline of Dust 514. Now that's harsh. That's harsh, and let me qualify that. I don't feel Ritati really built anything. He just maintained. He was the epitome of a middle manager. He was the epitome of somebody that would just say yes to the paymasters, and he didn't seem to be anybody who had a creative vision. Now, I'm willing to accept I'm wrong on this because I don't know the guy that well, so post comments in the commenty bit of YouTube and tell me I'm wrong. Say, Pyrex, you're a knob because, and you have to start it that way, otherwise it won't be read. Because for me, it feels as if there is this this issue that they're kind of not taking a chance. Now, you can't play it safe. I mean, if I was ever to give any advice ever to anyone for any reason ever, it would be never play safe. In my career, which I feel has led me to a place of position and power where I drink wine from a skull made of my enemies, I would really attribute that to having taken risks. Calculated risks, mind, but risks nonetheless. So for me, it feels as if, that's a kind of problem. So post in the comments, let me know. For me, it's a challenge. I'm concerned that they're basically just going to play it safe and kind of produce a tech demo. It feels, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it feels like No Man's Sky CCP edition. It really does. They're producing a tech demo to try and sell to Bethesda. That's what they did with No Man's Sky. And then they realized, oh, hey, we could slap a bit of glitter on this and sell it to idiots for $60. And that's pretty much what they did. Now, I don't want them to do that. I want them to have a bit of a vision with this game. For me, it feels as if they're kind of pandering. And I'm terrified, I tell you, that it could end up being a bit of a mess. But there we go. Apparently it's on the Unreal 4 engine. Apparently that means something to people. Yay. I don't know. Is that good? Is that bad? Post in the comments. I have no idea. Nor do I give much of a monkeys. I mean, quite frankly, it could be a top-down adventure like Dwarf Fortress for all I care, as long as it's good. It doesn't matter what engine it is. It doesn't matter who's producing it. It just matters if it's good or not, surely. So yeah, I guess that's interesting. It's on the Unreal 4 engine. Whoop-de-doo. There we go. Now, what is concerning me is that there is an issue of Fortnite and PUBG and other terrible, terrible clones. Now, let's face it, in this industry, which is the computer game industry, it is one of mimicry. That's all they do. They copy and paste whatever is currently the meta of the day, and they make that the game of tomorrow, which is basically what they did with PUBG, which was a copy of H1Z1, which spawned a copy called Fortnite, as I'm sure you're aware. Fortnite is a terrible, terrible game, but it's incredibly popular because children play it. So basically anybody who plays Fortnite is basically a paedophile in practice. Now, that's harsh, but it's true. Let's face it. You're playing Minecraft with guns. Now grow up and fucking sort yourself out, because seriously, there's no excuse. You go to any court in the land, they're not going to listen to you. If you're judged by your peers, they're going to look at you, then look at the game you're playing and go, that's for kids, mate, and you're in big trouble. So stop playing that game, seriously. But that's an interesting point, because that seems to drive the copy. I mean, basically CCP are going to say, we want a piece of that lovely battle royale money, please. And they're going to make some sort of terrible, crappy copy bollocks of that game. And I'm terrified of that. I really am worried that this next incarnation of Dust is going to be literally Fortnite in the EVE universe. If it has emotes in any way, I will be swinging from the rafters. I'm not even kidding. So let's talk about EVE. EVE has issues. EVE has no executive producer currently at the moment. You're gonna shout and scream at me in the channel, I'm sure, that I'm wrong, but it doesn't seem to, as far as I'm aware. And even if it does, it's a temporary one, let's face it, because Seagull has left or leaving or is going to leave, whatever. Now that produces further problems, because there's no kind of strategic creative vision of EVE either. So how are you going to link two games when basically you've got an EP for Dust who is just going to copy whatever they're told to do by a person who's not there? So it produces problems, let's say, and I'm really concerned about that. I would almost go to say generally there's a question mark about CCP generally. And I'm somebody who literally has become a YouTube internet celebrity sensation because of a fucking small tiny game by a group of developers in a land that technically shouldn't exist. So what's that about? So this is my concern, is that there definitely is a kind of fear from me that I don't even know how they can do a Project Nova when EVE is so rudderless, and when CCP itself feels as if it's not exactly in a strong position. So I think it's a bleeding godsend that people have been bothering Hilmar this long, because that's why you have at least the interests of a game. But I honestly am skeptical if they're going to make anything truly worthy of your money. And I know that sounds horrendous and horrible, but I don't want people to go into this blind thinking that CCP are this wonderful, enigmatic company. They are, or they used to be, but they have a problem, and I don't know how they're going to fix it. And I don't think they're going to fix it by producing an infantry game in a space game that really just seems to be about the people who are already playing it. I think that's a big problem. When you look at Elite Dangerous, you see a game that really seems to be just going from strength to strength. It seems to have content, it seems to have roadmaps, it seems to have development plans, and it seems to have a group of people who are so fanatical about it because they care. And the same is true of EVE, but I would honestly say it doesn't seem as if there is maybe the CCP coverage of it. I don't know. I mean, post in the comments. I'm really concerned, and I'm somebody who's consumed CC products all my gaming life since I was a wee nipper, and I do worry that there's not really going to be anything of quantity, of note, of quality. I do worry that they're just going to rush something out. It's going to be critically panned, and then it's completely dead. I would much rather they take their time and really work on this. And I don't know really what the way forward is for any of these. I mean, I don't envy their position, and I feel bad saying what I've said about Retati, but I don't know, sometimes you sort of question, why do they play safe? It's because they're worried about really it being a critical death move. And I get that. I totally understand that. From, you know, look at the Star Wars universe right now. You may just all agree or disagree with me, but I think the consensus seems to be that people are sick of Star Wars. And the problem is that there is this kind of saturation of uninteresting, unrisky stories being told that really are so safe. I mean, The Last Jedi was as close as you could get to a complete non-story. It was a complete rewrite of Empire Strikes Back, more or less. It was a complete safe position that, you know, to me it kind of pissed me off, because I think right now the best thing they could do would be to push forward with it. But again, I'll quantify that. I'll play devil's advocate. I'm not who they're making those films for. Originally, they were making those films for fans, but they're making them for the next generation of fans who didn't go and see Empire and Jedi and Star Wars originally, maybe at the cinema, or at least didn't see the remakes. For them, you know, there is this kind of generational thing where they're making a film for people who are new to the Star Wars thing. But even then, they're pretty shitty movies. So for me, I mean, I didn't go and see Solo, and that screams volumes to me, because I'm just not bothered with it, which is a not good thing. And I think that's what's going to happen with Project Nova, is there is going to be this move towards a game that they produce. They'll put a tech demo out there and nobody will come play it, because people are kind of like, I've kind of done Dust 514, tick, cross, done. I don't even know why I'm doing videos of it. I think it's because I've been drinking heavily again. But you see the point is that there's not really an impetus to try anything. So there we go. Post in the comments, let me know what you think, and as always, see you maybe next time.